Welcome to Amazing History Stories. Today, we will talk about the Mali Empire. The Empire of Mali was an Islamic empire based in West Africa from 1214 through 1610. The Mali Empire comprised of current-day Guinea, Senegal, Mauritania, the Gambia, and Mali. The Mali Empire is of great significance for several important reasons. Specifically, Timbuktu is world-renowned for scholarship. The Emperor of Mali, Mansa Musa, was arguably the richest man to ever live, and the possibility that Muslims were the first to discover the New World. Yes, the Americas. The Mali Empire's predecessor was the Ghana Empire. The Ghana Empire emerged in around the 19th century AD and was a gold-rich nation located in the Sahel. Sahara means desert in Arabic. This is where the Arabs and Africans transported the Empire of Ghana's incredibly rich sources of gold to other African and Arab nations and beyond. Ghana was prosperous until the Islamic movement. The Almoravids, which were discussed in an earlier video, was a federation comprising numerous tribes in the Sahara Desert with the desire to spread Islam. During the 11th century, the Almoravids attacked Ghana's trading center called Autogast in present-day Mauritania to control the trade routes going to North Africa. After the Almoravids established their control over Autogast, the Empire of Ghana slowly declined. However, the elite class of the Ghana Empire converted to Islam and strengthened ties to the Almoravid Empire and international trade. This is likely the starting point for Islam in the sub-Saharan region of West Africa. The Mali Empire superseded Ghana and had incredible wealth and scholastic achievements. During the 13th and 14th centuries, the emperor, otherwise known as Mansa Musa, reigned over the Empire of Mali. He has been well documented in history. Mansa Musa's policies set Timbuktu on the course to become a commercial powerhouse through trading gold, salt, and ivory. Forbes magazine estimated that Mansa Musa's wealth would be $400 billion in today's valuations, which makes him one of, if not, the richest person to ever have lived. Mansa Musa, however, gained the Muslim world's attention when he used his wealth to perform Hajj. He traveled over 2,700 miles with 2,000 servants across the Sahara Desert for the pilgrimage to Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Along the way, he was very generous to the poor, so generous that his gold distributions to people for consumption and charity caused the economy in Cairo, Egypt, to plummet due to inflation for a considerable amount of time. It was rumored that Mansa Musa built a mosque every Friday during his pilgrimage. Ibn Fadlallah al-Amari, the Damascus-born historian, geographer, and bureaucrat, stated that Mansa Musa's pilgrimage was a lavish display of power, wealth, and unprecedented by its size and pageantry. Musa persuaded Arab architects and scholars to travel back to Mali with him to assist with his bold building and scholarly goals. In fact, these goals coincided with each other. He built mosques and madrasas in Timbuktu and Gao. Most notably, the ancient center of learning Sankore Madrasa, or University of Sankore. Timbuktu is a well-known place in Western civilization. However, many do not know why. Timbuktu was an amazing center for Islamic learning at the time. In fact, the West African Muslims authored and purchased books that included more than Islamic teachings. Timbuktu produced over 650,000 manuscripts from the 13th to 20th century. These manuscripts were primarily written in Arabic, but also some manuscripts were in native African languages, but transposed into Arabic. Timbuktu's collection included translated works of Plato, Hippocrates, and Avicenna. Additionally, the Timbuktu universities contained books authored by local Africans on subjects such as history, religion, law, philosophy, poetry, and medicine. The famous Muslim scholars and world travelers visited the Empire of Mali and attested to its wealth, architectural and scholastic achievements, and devotion to Islam. These Muslim standouts are Ibn Battuta, Ibn Khaldun, and Leo Africanus. Unfortunately, current-day Mali is engaged in a civil war between secular and Orthodox Muslims that have sunk Mali into civil war, which has destroyed many books. Further, the conflict is fought between the Tuareg people, a Berber or Amazigh people, and the native Africans of the area. The Tuareg are nomadic people from the Sahara Desert. They historically have occupied a vast area stretching from far southwestern Libya to southern Algeria, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and as far as northern Nigeria, with small communities in Chad and the Sudan. They also played a major role in the Almoravids movement that started in the 10th century. I left the most interesting part for last. There is testimonial evidence that Musa Musa gained the throne because his predecessor, Musa Muhammad, left the empire on his second expedition across the Atlantic to discover land. He never returned and Musa Musa became the emperor. This is documented in Islamic history because global traveling Muslim scholars visited the empire of Mali and was told the story. The story goes that Musa Muhammad believed there was land on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, so he ordered 200 ships with men and 200 with provisions to travel across the Great Ocean. Only one ship returned. Musa Muhammad was determined to find land across the Atlantic, so he deputized his nephew Musa to maintain the empire until he returned from his voyage. Then Musa Muhammad set sail with 2,000 ships for the expedition. When he never returned, Musa Musa became the emperor. Interestingly, Christopher Columbus did not come up with the idea that there was land on the other side of the Atlantic. From his own accounts, there was a ship captain who became shipwrecked and washed up on the shore of the now Canary Islands. The ship captain said there was land out there before he died. Moreover, Christopher Columbus documented in his diary that when he saw land, he recognized a structure that resembled a mosque. Some argue that Columbus intended to say that he saw hills and mountains that resemble a mosque. That does not sound logical, but I will let you be the judge of it. Moreover, Columbus documented that he met individuals who spoke Arabic. One could argue that Columbus mistaken Native American for Arabic. This doesn't make sense for two reasons. Why would he choose Arabic from numerous different languages? Additionally, Columbus was in Granada during the time that the Moors had lost the kingdom to the Spanish. Too many coincidences for me to dismiss. In my humble opinion, I believe a lot of the Malians died during or after the voyage, including Musa Muhammad. The remaining Malians decided against risking their lives again to make the arduous journey back to Mali. Since Musa Muhammad was not alive to order someone to return, they stayed and integrated into the society with the Native Americans. Over time, they became Latino and lost their heritage. Anyways, one can only imagine what the world would look like today if the Muslims had made it to America in large volumes, settled, and established large-scale trading throughout the Ummah. The historical figures, events, and places have been woven into a riveting fictional story in the book The Moors in Spain, when Arab and African Muslims led the world. The book is available on Amazon.com. Goodbye for now. See you in the next episode of Amazing History Stories. You don't want to miss slavery in Islam compared to Christianity.